Right, yes.
That's very not too long.
I lived at trees.
Oh, yeah.
Street.
We look at the parallel.
Yeah, that was a benefit. Bridge over.
The governor is
Yeah, it's pretty,
signing
but
a bill on Monday.
I tried.
Greatly expands coverage from respiratory screening, which is a big
Couldn't
difference.
get the time.
So I'm going to go to sign.
I
it,
did
and I sent Alicia,
I mean, I just couldn't.
she said, I'll be
I had
there.
a kid, you know.
Anyway,
That would be
there's
next-
leadership
yeah.
that's next
It is
Monday.
time
So
consuming.
she's got
Well, I took less
stuck out of leadership for an hour, so I'm going to sign it. She said, you guys leave at 7:30.
Yeah.
Because I was
I think, well, they want to start at 6:30.
That's the hours.
business on the Gulf.
You know,
It just wasn't me.
and then we'll be back
And I was terrible at
the next week.
Yeah.
Um,
You have to
see.
say.
I wondered if actually, I thought that
That's what she wanted.
Yeah,
Do we have a collection of golf balls though? Because
Yeah.
that's good.
they come
Glad she can
into our
take
yard
advantage of
and.
It'll be good.
Occasionally it's golf ball. So we have them kind of displayed.
Ready?
We're ready.
Whenever you
That's
want.
as close as we get to it.
All right, we had.
Call the meeting to order. This is the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority regular board meeting of April 28th, 2023. The board did meet in executive session. No votes were taken. Got some updates on the water reliability plan. Very good. So let's start with the roll call, Deb.
Sure. Ms. McCormick Barron,
Here.
Ms. Costello,
Here.
Mr. Doma,
Here.
Ms. Lever,
Here.
Mr. Martin, Dr. Morel, Chair Schuley,
Here.
Ms. Strasburger.
Here.
6 board members are present. We have a quorum.
Very good. Do we have any speakers for public comment?
No registered public comment for today.
All right. All right, first action is the approval of the minutes of March 24th, 2023. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of the minutes, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the minutes of March 24th, 2023 are approved. Confirmation of CEO approvals. All CEO approvals from the prior month are approved. We'll move to reports and updates. Start with Finance Department. Mr. Barca.
Morning again.
Morning.
Before I get into the financial report for this month, I would like to point out that there is a quarterly finance performance report that is included in your board packet. This is a new addition to your board packet that we would do on a regular basis, on a quarterly basis moving forward. The quarterly report provides various details within the Department of Finance, such as revenue collection, operating expenditures, capital expenditures, updates on external funding, our fleet management and procurement. So there's a lot of data points in there that I feel may be useful to the board that we're going to continue to provide, like I said, on a quarterly basis. Among the benefits of this report, I do feel it's a little bit more transparent on all the activities that we have going on in the Department of Finance. But it also highlights the excellent job that my team is doing as well. Needless to say, there's a lot that goes on within the Department of Finance, and when I can, I do like to highlight the excellent work that we're doing. Now turning back to the finance report for this month, you will see that first quarter receipts totaled $49.2 million, or 23.8% of our total budget. PWSA has experienced stronger than expected receipts for our water, wastewater, and discharges through the first 3 months of 2023 by collecting $42.8 million of the $31.9 million that was budgeted. So we do have a little bit of a surplus there so far through the first quarter. First quarter stormwater receipts equaled $4.9 million as compared to the budgeted amount of $5.2 million, representing a little under collection there of about $300,000. It's not a big number, but it is something that we are going to continue to monitor through the remainder of this year. Total forecasted year-end receipts, inclusive of the rate stabilization fund, are $210.4 million. That represents an increase of $3.7 million, or 1.79% as compared to the budget. First quarter departmental operating expenditures were 24.6 million, which is a $6.5 million lower than we had budgeted. It is expected that the departmental expenditures will continue to expedite going into the second quarter as construction season starts. So it's a little bit of a slow start to the year, but we do anticipate that to pick up and expedite as we continue into the summer months. 34.4 million in debt service costs have been paid in the first quarter, which is in line with our budgeted expectations. Rising interest rates continue to impact our variable line of credit. It is expected that a new fixed bond issuance will be executed in June to pay off that line of credit to eliminate that interest rate risk. So that is forthcoming. Lastly, I will mention that PWSA's cash balance on March 31st, 2023 was $74.7 million, which is a $4.4 million increase as compared to the prior year at the same time. It's at this point that I'll turn it back over to the board for any questions. Thank you.
Is your microphone working?
So you just
Speak louder.
Yeah, just a little further. I heard every word. Any comments or questions, Mr. Barker? All right, thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
Engineering Department, Mr. King.
Good morning, members of our board. This morning, I'll begin with a brief update on our drinking water programs. The lead service line replacements continue to be replaced through our active contracts under the small diameter water main replacement and our lead service line replacement projects, with a grand total of 10,108 public and 7,031 private side lead service line replacements that have been completed up through April 19th, 2023. Project progress continues on the design and the construction efforts for our water reliability plan related projects. Construction continues on the Rising Main 4 rehabilitation and replacement project, as well as the Highland Reservoir Supply and Rising Main project. Design and permitting efforts continue with the balance of our water reliability plan projects. As for procurement activities for the water distribution program, there are a number of bids being received next week, but that we will be bringing to the board next month. These include receiving bids on Monday, May 1st for the 2023 Neighborhood Lead Service Line Replacement Program, which is associated with about 1,200 service lines to be identified and potentially replaced, as well as bids for the 2022 Small Diameter Water Main Replacement Contract A, which is specifically addressing 4.1 miles and potentially 125 public and 156 private lead service lines. All of that being conducted on Monday. Bids for the 2022 Small Diameter Water Main Contracts B and C will be received on Tuesday and Wednesday, respectively, the 2nd and the 3rd of May. These three contracts are estimated to address a total replacement of over 13 miles of main and over 1,900 service lines, of which we anticipate will run into 385 public and 479 private lead service lines. And the Highland Reservoir Pump Station Design Project will be placed for advertisement and bid in May, coming up in 2023. Next, I want to discuss the stormwater and green infrastructure program. The Fuchsia Way Stormwater Project is on track and scheduled to be completed by July. Right now, we are at a point of replacing 775 out of the total 1,100 linear feet of sewer under this project. And the water main replacement work within the public service area has been completed. So this concludes the engineering and construction April board report. Are there any questions?
Comments and questions for Mr. King? Thank you, Barry.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Chief Environmental Compliance and Ethics Officer report, Mr. Sideri.
All right, good morning, everyone. So probably not a lot of you are counting, but I have been. Today's the 1-year mark of when I've been allowed to provide these reports to you. So, hopefully they've been helpful in providing some, glimpses into the efforts that we've been making in terms of environmental compliance and ethics for the authority. And also some of the, things we're doing to support our mission, vision, and core values, which includes ethics and integrity as part of that. One of the obligations that we have under our administrative agreement with the EPA is the expansion of our environmental compliance and ethics program to all PWSA facilities by September 14th of 2023, so coming up this fall. Our environmental compliance and ethics program has 5 key components. I've talked to you about those during previous reports. And 4 of those include PWSA's mission statement, our core values, our organizational structure, our codes and policies, and training. These already apply to all PWSA facilities and employees. The 5th one currently we are addressing. That is the expansion of our environmental compliance manual to cover all of the PWSA's facilities, staffed facilities. The environmental compliance manual itself provides a foundation of our water quality and environmental compliance obligations. And right now it's currently focused on the water treatment plant. So when we first developed that manual, it's been set forth for the water treatment and some of the distribution facilities there. The obligations that we look at under our environmental compliance manual include things such as chemicals, oil, different types of hazardous materials, their storage and management, stormwater and wastewater, air, general waste management, so plant trash, different types of things that we're disposing of, our drinking water supply, and also compliance with various orders and agreements. So all of these are part of that compliance manual. We've taken a lot of steps already to facilitate the expansion of this manual to all facilities. A couple of those examples this morning I'll share with you is that we did complete a third-party environmental compliance and safety assessment of 11 different facilities last fall. We've implemented monthly tailgate trainings out at some of our yards. So at Howard, Mission, and Brilliant yards, environmental compliance and safety now provide tailgate trainings on small pieces of information for them. Our environmental compliance team continues to canvass all the facilities to look into all of those components I talked about, waste and chemicals and storage tanks and whatnot. We have rolled out several programs to these facilities. So a couple of examples is management of aerosol cans as universal waste, how we're disposing and collecting of those, storage tank inspections of various types, inspections of spill kits as another one. So we're slowly kind of taking programs that we've implemented at the water treatment plant and introducing and expanding those across the organization. And finally here, just recently in the last week or so, we met with all of our facility managers. So Howard, Mission, Brilliant, the warehouse, to again, kind of kick off and see how we can work together better with them and their staff to fit into their we'll say how they work and how they manage their facilities, how they're staffed. So we've already started that communication with them to have that expansion occur. So we still have more to do, but I believe our September 2023 obligation will be met as we work towards expanding that compliance program. Lastly, I just want to take a moment to note that PWSA had abstracts submitted and accepted for presentation at 2 conferences that are coming up in May and June. I'll be speaking at the 2023 Pennsylvania American Water Works Association meeting, as well as the National American Water Works Association meeting. This year it's actually in Toronto, so it's international. But both of these presentations are going to allow PWSA to share with some of our peer utilities the structure and success of our environmental compliance and ethics program. And I see this as another recognition of PWSA's work at both the state and national level itself. And with that, I'll conclude. As I always say, if the board, employees, contractors have any questions on compliance, ethics, please reach out to me and be happy to answer those. Any questions today?
Questions and comments? Go ahead, Michael.
Hopefully you'll be close enough you can walk to the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto.
I haven't looked yet at the tourist things to do there. I'm focused on the
Queens Quay, I think. Yeah, my question is, Frank, on January 11th, the supplier of 80%, more than 80% of potassium and sodium permanganate to the domestic US market experienced a warehouse distribution fire. So the questions are, have we gotten any permanganate pinches? With the caveat, I know we use liquid, not solid oxidant, and their accident report is out. So have we looked at that?
Yeah, so I'm not aware that anybody's taken a look specifically at the accident report that caused that. That was external at that facility. But it's interesting to hear it's out. So maybe we will take a look just to see what was happening there in terms of the supply chain that caused that issue. We were aware, our operations group was following very closely what was going on with the supply So you're correct, we do use liquid, so we use sodium permanganate as one of the pre-treatment chemicals out at the water treatment plant. When that word came down that there was a potential shortage of supply, our laboratory and operations folks worked together to look at how we could optimize the feeding of that chemical to make sure we were managing its use, very appropriately. And they also worked with the vendor to, we'll say, get a supply in stock. So between those two efforts, both managing the dose as well as, I won't say stockpiling, but managing enough of a supply, we were able to work through that supply chain disruption without any concerns with the water treatment that was going on at the plant.
That's good.
yeah.
As of April 12th, they're still running vac trucks, cleaning stuff up.
Right. Yeah. So they're still working. That what I heard most recently from our operations group is that they feel like the supply is starting to come back in terms of the supply chain being reestablished. But correct. Yeah. The operations group and water production laboratory did a great job in managing that event, and we didn't have any disruptions that I was aware of.
The report may actually make the PWSA change look even better.
Okay.
Because there was some ruptured bags and lift truck sparks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of the powdered variety, the potassium.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a look at that.
Frank, I just want to say happy anniversary and congratulations to you and Will and the team. I'm not surprised that we're getting state and national attention because I think you guys have done an amazing job of how to jumpstart, but also embed a program like this in the culture. So nice job.
Thank you.
I want to echo BJ's comments. First of all, it's hard to believe that it's a year. I would have never guessed that. Second of all, in all the areas of improvement in the authority, and run through the reports we had today, finance, engineering, HR, all of the various departments have improved greatly over the tenure that I've been here associated with the authority. But I have to say that your group has improved the most because there was always a disconnect with a lot of the issues that you're facing now. Certainly the focus on compliance, the focus on ethics, bringing the whole organization up from a cultural standpoint to just report on the things that were questionable before now are addressed as regular business items. And can't tell you how much we appreciate that. And I attribute a lot of that to your leadership and your team. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Well said. I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, Will, Chief Executive Officer's report.
Sure. Thank you, Chair, and good morning, members of the board, PWSA staff, consultants, and members of the public tuning in online. We, as every month, we've been very busy, but wanted to call out attention to some of the departments that don't get represented in our remarks. But Ed did not touch on the fact that he and his team, along with really every operating department, has been hard at work developing the rate proposal that the board will acknowledge us in our submittal next month to the Public Utility Commission. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes with PWSA staff and our consultants. It's just the beginning of a 9-month process. I was really surprised to hear from a colleague in Indiana, they thought 9 months was fast. So perspective a little interesting there, but we will be hard at it for the next 9 months and we'll continue to keep the board posted on that. I also want to call attention, we are halfway through our stormwater conversations that are happening out in the community. We had really great attendance at the most recent one that we held in the East End. We think about 60 members of the public showed up to learn more about our stormwater strategic plan, provide feedback, ask questions. We have 3 more meetings left. I encourage members of the public or anyone who's interested in what we are trying to achieve in our stormwater programs to attend one of those meetings. And if they can't, there's a lot of information online, including the ability to submit comments, which will be open through the end of June. I want to call the board's attention, if you did not catch in the performance report, so really a tremendous turnaround on the contact center metrics that we track. You may recall that some of those numbers suffered as we transitioned our systems, and by and large, they are all back within our expectations and that high bar that Julie Meckling and her team have established over the last few years. So please do take a peek at those. The one anomaly, we did receive an influx of calls to our dispatch when we had a very impactful water main break that resulted in some customers being out of service for some time. So there was a spike in calls to our emergency dispatch, but otherwise things have returned to normal, and that hasn't been without a lot of work. So I wanted to make sure to commend that. I also want to say we've made some upgrades and we've learned some lessons. We have a callback feature now. If someone doesn't want to, if for whatever reason, they shouldn't have to wait too long on hold, but they can opt to leave a message, and a customer service during regular hours will return that phone call. And then on emergency dispatch, we have an outbound message for an instance like a big water main break. If they're calling in to report it, the call script will alert them that we are aware of the break and working toward it. They can still remain on the line and speak to someone if they want to remain on hold, but not having to have customers stay on the line to feel like they are relaying a message that we are well aware of and are trying to address. Those have been some technology upgrades that we have made that we're particularly proud of. I teased last month that we would be receiving the Aquarius Award for our lead service line replacement program. That announcement was made official this past month. This, as a reminder, is an award given by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for programs that utilize state revolving fund funds. And Penvest is Pennsylvania's state revolving fund. They actually put forward the application for this award, so they are a joint awardee. And something I'm particularly excited about is that it was a reflection of our commitment to public health in the way that we are replacing lead service lines across our service territory. We're not doing partial lead service line replacements, something that this board established the policy many years ago. However, if you look across the country, that is not the standard. So it was an area that EPA wanted to go out of the way to commend. We have the award. We had a nice little celebration last month with the lead team to recognize that moment. And then I also, speaking of awards, want to call attention. We won't have the results until next month, but our human resources team has been nominated for awards from the Pittsburgh chapter of the Society of Human Resources for Leader of the Year, Logan Carmichael, our Chief People and Culture Officer, as well as his team. So we will be rooting for them later on in May. They deserve the award. I'm going to assume that they will get it, but they are also being noticed. A lot of their work goes unseen, but the work that Frank does often involves collaboration with human resources. As you can see in the board report, we have a talent quarterly report in there. You can see the volume of positions that we are hiring for. And that is an ongoing challenge to remain fully staffed. But I believe this year we are the closest to being fully staffed as we have ever been in our history. And then finally, we will have a board resolution. Rachel Romano will present on our audit from Mar Dussel. I do want to point out, it's an unqualified clean audit and is actually the 8th consecutive clean audit. And I think there's been a little misunderstanding about sometimes our history and their discussions about, we have undergone quite a few audits in the last 5 or 6 years, but 8 years in a row, I think is something that the team should be proud of. We have every expectation to continue it. We wanted to call out that's just a continuation of an ongoing streak and the hard work that the finance team does day in and day out. So with that, I'll wrap up my remarks and I'm happy to answer any questions anyone has.
Questions for Will? Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Will. I have a question pertaining to item 4 above. I see a roughly $500,000 expense for the BRT project that was originally funded for resolution 23, March 21.
Item 4, sorry, just to make sure I'm
Excel
tracking.
spreadsheet on the sign-offs.
So I'd have to go back. I can't, there was a payment to the city of Pittsburgh, I believe, in that signing approval. I don't have it in front of me, but I can give you that detail. I can't recall if it's related to the BRT or not.
Yeah, I appreciate that because there's also preceding that 2 change orders on that project.
Okay, we'll certainly follow up with you on that one.
Questions or comments? First of all, congratulations, Logan. I did mention HR as part of my tracker. Yeah, so there's been a significant improvement in HR as well. So thank you very much for that. And I did want to mention that Eric and I participated, was it yesterday? Yesterday in the Stormwater Committee meeting. And I want to remind everyone that this is another area that the authority has taken a giant step forward. Stormwater was not necessarily part of our mandate in terms of water and sewer services for the city of Pittsburgh. And as many of you know, stormwater is a shared responsibility between the city and many other agencies, PennDOT, other agencies that contribute to the stormwater. And of course, we have climate change here that's changing our horizon every single day. But I want to comment how the authority has taken a giant step forward to step up and address stormwater issues. Certainly the stormwater fee and the passing of the stormwater fee and everything that we talked about in the last year or so regarding stormwater projects that Barry mentioned this morning and so forth that are going forward. I don't want people to lose sight of the fact that, that this was not something that was mandated by some federal agency to step up. It was the authority itself saying they're going to do their part and work on the stormwater issue, which is a huge challenge for our area. So I just wanted to point that out. Thank you. All right, if there's no more questions for Will, we'll move to resolutions. Resolution number 22. Rachel, we have a surprise visit here from your
Good morning.
presentation. Yeah,
Resolution number 22, accepting the 2022 report of the auditor Mar Diesel Certified Public Accountants.
may I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Well, again, many of us sat through the presentation on the audit by Meyer Dusel, and I know I asked the question toward the end to say, I think to Ed, to say, has the authority ever been in a better financial position than it is right now? And I believe the answer is that, to everyone's memory, that this is the best financial position that PWSA has ever been in. And, it goes along with Will's statement of 8 years of clean audits. So congratulations to you, your staff, to our auditors, and of course, everyone that participates in the audit process. So we're all very proud of that and happy to say that we're here at this time for the best record on financially for PWSA. Thank you.
Thank you.
So may I have did we have a motion?
Yeah.
We had a motion. All right, sorry. All in favor of resolution number 22, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution number 22 is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 23, Mr. Barca.
Resolution number 23, approving the financial assistance application to be submitted to the Pennsylvania Infrastructure Investment Authority for the 2023 Neighborhood Lead Service Line Replacement Program B in a total amount of $14,605,000.
Very good. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 23, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution 23 is approved. Resolution 24.
Resolution number 24, approving the submittal of a tariff filing package to the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved. Seconded.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Good luck. All right. All those in favor of resolution number 24, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution 24 is approved. Thank you. We'll move to resolution 25. Mr. King.
Resolution number 25 is a request for the board's approval to award a change order of a capital contract for construction of the 2019 large diameter water main improvements, Rising Main number 4, to Structural Preservation Systems LLC. This capital change order is in the amount of $1,675,200. Staff recommends that the board approve the award of this change order.
Thank you, Barry. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Well, Barry, this is obviously a very critical project for us. We're glad to see that it's moving forward. Appreciate some of the updates that you and Will have provided to the board over the last couple of weeks. And we recognize the challenge involved, so we're happy to see this moving forward. All those in favor of resolution number 25, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution 25 is approved. All right, last resolution of the day, Mr. BJ McFadden.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Resolution number 26, approving the award of the 2023 Pumps and Motors Service Contract to Total Equipment Company. This is out of the operating budget, $3,466,349.63.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 26, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution number 26 is approved. Thank you, BJ. All right, that concludes the resolutions. Are there any other business items to come before the board today? Very good. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Very good. Meeting's adjourned.
Yeah.